Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name is Crimson and in this video we are going to be continuing our look through of the art of Metal Gear Solid V. So in part 1 we covered the ground zeros section as well as the character section, or the character and enemies section. So I believe we left off on the machine, or the start of the machine section, which yes we did. Thank you again. Thank you again, Hollow Knight art bookmark. So yeah, so these are the machines. So we start off here with another one of our buddies. So this is our fourth buddy that we get in the game. So far we have covered D-Horse, who acts as like a transport. We have D or D-Dog, who acts as a buddy who can attack targets, incapacitate targets, as well as spot and mark enemy positions. And we have Quiet, who acts as our sniper, which can either be a lethal sniper or a non-lethal sniper, depending on how you upgrade her. So this is our fourth and final buddy, and that is D. Walker. So D. Walker, as you can see here, is about the height of a man, just a little bit taller. He is a robot that you can pilot, and he has many uses. You can use him to travel distances very quickly, as well as using him for his offensive capabilities. He has all kinds of weapons that you can unlock based on how much you use him, from stuff like very simple machine guns, to chain guns, to miniguns, to rocket and grenade launchers. He is probably the most versatile buddy in the entire game. However, he does not come with a non-lethal option that I am aware of. So as cool as he is, I do not use him that much. I only use either D-Dog or Quiet with a silenced non-lethal sniper rifle. So here are some different pictures of D. Walker with different paint jobs. As you can see, this is what it looks like when someone is riding D. Walker. Later on in the game, some of the enemies in some of their bases have walkers themselves, which are very difficult to take down if spotted. They will completely light you up and kill you very quickly. And if they do spot you, it's very difficult to get a headshot off on them if you play with reflex mode on. I don't play with reflex mode on just because I don't find it fun, but and that just makes it even harder to get a headshot on one of these guys before they start blasting you. So here's some concept art of all of the different types of D-Walker. All four of these are really cool. I really like this one. This one looks kind of like a mech that you pilot, rather than a walker type droid or a machine. So here is the battle gear. So this is one of the vehicles that we encounter in the game. It is a highly advanced tank, and also acts as a kind of mobile artillery unit. You can see a size comparison between a man and the battle gear, as well as some of its weapons. Here it has a green paint job, whilst here it has more of a tan. This is it from the back. and then some different concept arts and kind of some bisections of some of its different parts. This is some more to do with him. We see some more parts. This is like a chain gun that it has. Here is a little bit of a sketch of him, or it, sorry, I don't know why I keep referring to the tank as a him. And then over here we have some more, lots of concept arts, lots of hand-drawn stuff. This one here, I think, is probably my favorite design. Very different from the tank. The tank almost looks like a quadruped standard tank, or at least the standard head of a tank, whereas this almost looks very reminiscent of a Metal Gear mech. So he is bipedal. I'm assuming the pilot would sit up here firing this main gun, and this would maybe be a rocket launcher that you could use as an artillery type. Again, not featured in the game, but I actually prefer this one to the original, or the one that we ended up with, which is rare. Oftentimes, I always prefer the one that ends up being the final product, but I think this one is so much cooler. Next up is Helanthropus. So, Helanthropus is this game's equivalent of a Metal Gear. Now, Helanthropus is not a Metal Gear. A Metal Gear is a bipedal nuclear weapons launching platform, whereas Helanthropus is almost like a prototype to that. He is a mech powered by an AI, and then later on powered by Psychomantis, and it is equipped with many different types of guns and weapons. So we can see one of the main guns here, this massive, almost railgun-like weapon. This is him from the back with some of his power coils. Him from the front. This is how he appears in the game. So these two are drawings. This is how he appears in the game. And he's able to fully bend over like this and shoot his main gun. So let me just see how much more. Okay, there's not that much more for so I'll explain his other weapons after this. So here are some different concept arts of him. This one, to me, kind of looks very biological, which is really cool. And then we have this one, which is just showcasing like one of his arms that has disconnected from his body. And again, the scale size. So here's a man, and here's Helanthropus. So Helanthropus has many different weapons. He has the massive railgun that you can see here. He has a seemingly artillery-based weapon, which he can launch missiles either directly at you or kind of with an arc that still tracks you. He has a homing beacon or a homing missile attack, so if you're in a vehicle or a helicopter, he will make swift work of that. He also has a sword, and as you can see here, he is using that sword to stab a helicopter in mid-flight, which is really cool. His most well-known ability, though, and probably the most supernatural of his abilities, is he's able to create these spike-like rocks that shoot out of the ground and follow you. They follow you for a very long time and move very fast. So unless you're in a some kind of jeep, you will be hit by it. And even if you are in a jeep, you still probably will get hit by it. Very, very powerful, and a definitely one of the best machines in the game. He acts as one of the final bosses that we have to defeat, and it really is cool, essentially using everything we have to take this guy down. Next up, won't spend too much time here. These are just some of the vehicles that we find in Afghanistan and Africa. So we have this Jeep, which has a mounted turret on it, but is also capable of holding soldiers. Standard Jeep here. Some more different cars. I believe this one is in the game. I'm not sure about the rest. And here are some trucks. The trucks that we can find are part of some missions, you know, like stopping deliveries by either capturing them or destroying them. Before we move on, one cool thing about both the Jeeps, these vehicles, and the trucks, or the lorries, is that is about the Fulton extraction system. So with the Jeep, what you're able to do is if you have 4 unconscious enemies, but you only have a few Fultons left. If you have upgraded the Fulton enough, what you can do is you can place the unconscious soldiers into the Jeep and then Fulton the Jeep, which not only nets you the Jeep for your mother base, but also the 4 passengers. So it's a really efficient way of Fultoning out enemy soldiers that you want. The only downside is it takes a long time compared to Fulton using a Fulton on a standard enemy. You are also able to stand on top of these trucks and use a Fulton extraction. This is, once you have upgraded it even further, what you are able to do is if you climb on top of the bed of the lorry, place the Fulton, you then have the option to grab onto the Fulton, and that extracts both you and the lorry. So it's a great way of quickly ending a mission. So if you have completed your objective and don't want to risk getting to the LZ or just want to finish it quickly, if you see a lorry like this or a supply crate, you can do that to extract basically instantly, which is really, really cool. The Fulton system is probably one of my favorite mechanics in all of games. So here are some different versions of the armored vehicles. So we have some APCs, we have some APCs with some kind of anti-air or mortar weapons. We have tanks in different colors that we find across the map. There's many missions where objectives are like blow up 6 tanks or something like that. Again, you are able to Fulton these. Fultoning these not only grants you that tank for your mother base, but also it counts as non-lethal. So if you are doing a non-lethal run for a mission that has you destroying tanks, you might think to yourself, hey, how am I going to do this non-lethal? I can't use a trank pistol on a tank. So all you have to do is just kind of make it stop and then Fulton it. And then that is it. Tank is yours and non-lethal is yours. Here we have what looks to be kind of like a dune buggy. With this one has actually they all do. This one has a turret on top with a little hatch for where the soldier will pop out, as well as a main cannon. I do not believe this vehicle actually made it into the final game, however, but it does look very, very cool. So next up we have the UA drone. These are quite simple. You just have to kind of stay out of the way. You can shoot them down if you have a silenced weapon that shoots bullets. Destroying these does not count as a kill, which is really cool, so you're able to get rid of these fairly quickly. Next up is the weapons. So here is some of the different pistols that we can unlock. So the way Metal Gear Solid V works in terms of its weapons is you have to have it with your R&D team. So you find, the best way to do this is as you are doing missions, you find soldiers that have high points in research and development. Each soldier has a skill set from D to S+++, and the better the rank, the better the soldier. The better job and more efficient that assigned station will do. So similar to how it is in Peace Walker, you want to make sure that you assign the correct soldier to the correct department to get the best use. So with R&D, for example, once you have enough of a certain amount of skilled soldiers in that department, you get access to new weapons. So, and each weapon kind of acts like a tree. So you start off with, a pistol, or the trank pistol, and then you go and you upgrade and you upgrade and you upgrade. Actually, the rifle would be better for this example. So you start off with your basic rifle, then you can upgrade to an even more powerful rifle, and then you just keep upgrading and upgrading and upgrading, and eventually at the end of the tree or near the end of the tree, you'll get the option to have your first non-lethal assault rifle. They do not shoot trank rounds, they shoot gun or ammunition that knocks enemies out. It's the same thing, however, they do not stay knocked out nearly as long as they do if they are put to sleep. And then you can go even further down that upgrade tree, and eventually you'll unlock a silenced version of that. So that's the case for most of the weapons. So you have your trank pistol and trank sniper, and then for SMGs and assault rifles, you have your non-lethal rounds, which knocks enemies out. But anyway, back to the pistols. So here are a bunch of different designs. So we have, I am not super familiar with gun types. I apologize. I am a Euro scum, so I don't know much about guns. So this, actually it says what they are. I apologize. So this is a D114, and this is a Burkov. This looks very similar to the Makarov pistol. We have the WUS pistol. Not gonna spend too much time on these. I believe this is the trank pistol here, and then these are some of the upgrades that you can get for it if you keep going down that tree. So you can get an extended mag, you can get a laser pointer, you can get a flashlight, stuff like that. And then same for down here. We have like this auto pistol, which is kind of like an MP7. And then here, this is our starting gun. So our D114, after we upgraded a bunch, ends up becoming this version with an extended mag, a laser sight, and a flashlight, and a silencer. Over here, we have some crazy revolvers. So we have this massive revolver here, the WUS-23-4LB. We have this weapon here, which I think is non-lethal. A lot of the times, the non-lethal weapons will have blue barrels on them, which looks to be a very similar variant of this. So this is the Zorn KP. So I believe this is the lethal version, and this is the non-lethal version. But you can see some of the upgrades here are crazy, with magnums and revolvers having, 4x zoom scopes and laser sights on them, which is crazy. As well as this gun here, which is so funny to me. It's this standard little pistol, that has an extended mag so big it's like twice the size of the grip, which I just think is hilarious, but it's so fun. So here are some of the SMGs that we can get. So we start off with our basic weapons here. This is the one we start with, the SZ336 SMG. And then here are some of the other ones that we can unlock as we progress down the tree. Here are some more SMGs. These ones kind of blur the lines between assault rifle and SMG, so they're like a good little mixture of both. This is where we get the non-lethal SMGs. So this is the Riot SMG. So this one is non-lethal. And then we have two more versions. Oh, sorry. We have 1, 2, 3 different versions of our non-lethal SMG. So we start off with just the standard one with the silencer. Then we get one with a sight. Then we get another one with a grip. And then we get another one with I believe that's an extended mag or some kind of thing. The only thing is that once you purchase a weapon to have your R&D team create, and as just you buy higher and higher tier weapons, the wait gets longer, is you have to wait hours, and I'm talking, you know, it starts off at the beginning like maybe 2 or 3 hours up to maybe like, you know, 30 plus hours. So it's one of those things that it's great to once you have finished playing for that session of the day or you're going to bed, is to start an upgrade or like purchase a weapon and then leave your console on, and then it will just count towards it. So when you wake up, you have your weapon. It is cool though, buying a new weapon, seeing that it's going to take for ages, then turning the game off, going to bed, and then hopping back on and immediately getting the notification that, hey, your new weapon is ready to use. So cool. So here is the assault rifles. So this is the SVG-76. This is the main weapon used by some of the enemy factions, particularly the Soviets. This is the AMRS-4. So this is our main weapon that we use in the game. This is our main assault rifle. There's obviously so many more variants to it, but this is like our main workhorse weapon. And then as you can see here, there's many of the same things for all of these guns. Loads of different attachments, different scopes, different lengths, different grips. And I believe that there is, I can't see it here, but there is a Riot version of the MRS-4, which just basically means that while it doesn't put people to sleep, it does knock them out. The only difference, or the only other difference, is with the trank weapons. You're meant to shoot them in the head to make them fall asleep instantly, but you can shoot them in the body and then wait like 2 minutes and they'll fall asleep. With the Riot guns, because they are not trank guns, you have to get them in the head, and one hit to the head isn't always enough. So if you shoot them in the body or anything, it does nothing. So you have to make sure that you're actually accurate with your shots. Here's some of the shotguns, which are really cool. We have some of the old-fashioned shotguns, and then some of the newer type shotguns. The designs for them are really cool. I really like this little sawed-off. Actually, no, I like this one. There's just something funny about a sawed-off shotgun with a scope on it. I've never really used the shotguns in MGSV, just because, again, there's no non-lethal option for them, but they are quite cool. Next up is the grenade launchers. So we start off with some of our standard grenade launchers. We have our kind of standard ones that we start off the game with, and then you can level them up here. And then we have our kind of revolver automatic grenade launcher and our cartridge-fed grenade launcher. What is cool about the grenade launchers, I'm just checking the next page in case it shows it. If I can get the page to unstick, that is. There. What's cool about the grenade launchers is you might think that these are completely useless for non-lethal. Completely useless for a non-lethal playthrough. However, that's incorrect because you start off only having fragmentation grenades. But then you can unlock stuff like smoke grenades, and then after a while you can unlock sleep grenades, which are essentially gas grenades which put enemies to sleep. There's also an airstrike, one of the options or mechanics in Metal Gear Solid V, and this takes away from your overall rank. Like if you do this, you will not get an S. You are able to call in air support, so you can call in an airstrike, you can call in a helicopter to come and support you. And the airstrike, as you upgrade it, it starts off with a usual just bombardment of explosives, but you also get the option of being able to deploy sleep gas in a massive area. So if there's a bunch of enemies that are grouped together and you do not see how you can sneak around them, if you don't care about rank, you can just call in one of those and get them. Speaking of S ranks and stuff, I have gotten the achievement on Steam for completing every mission in Metal Gear Solid V with an S rank, which is so difficult. Especially, most of the missions are easy to do, but there are some of them that are so hard. The mission where we have to defend Code Talker after our helicopter goes down once we rescue him is one of the hardest missions I've ever experienced in a game. So to get an S rank, you have to make it so that you aren't necessarily detected unless being detected is mandatory, and also that you do not kill anyone. So yeah, very difficult, but so much fun. If you have not non-lethaled this game, I cannot recommend it enough. So here we have our sniper rifles. So we start off with some of our more traditional sniper rifles. You know, this is our kind of hunting rifle-esque. Down here we have a bit more of a modern weapon. This is another version of the MRS. This weapon here looks like an L96 in real life. I know that's not what it's called in the game, but still. And then over here we have our 50 cal rifle. So again, you have all these different upgrades for them. You can get a trank sniper rifle. However, the trank sniper rifle does not come with a suppressor at first. You have to unlock about 3 or 4 different sniper rifles between getting the trank sniper and the trank silenced sniper. So having a trank sniper that is fully loud kind of defeats the whole point, but I guess they just didn't want to give it to you too early. Won't spend too much time on these. These are some of the light machine guns. Obviously, these are for those who like to play guns blazing, going in full armor, ready to kick ass and take names. And then over here we have some of the rocket launchers that we find. So these two are just your standard rocket launcher, whereas these two are stingers for taking down. This is a killer bee, but it's a stinger for taking down aircraft and letting you lock on. And then this is a javelin. In game, it's called the CGM-25, but this allows you to lock onto enemy vehicles. Really good for taking out tanks, by the way. Okay, I am not missing a page. I am missing a page. Oh my god, I can't believe that. So, diamond dogs. So this is just a little bit of stuff about diamond dogs. Some of their gear and pouches we see here. Some of... I'm actually not even sure what these are. These kind of look like holders or like stuff you would put cards into. And then over here we have some soldiers. This guy has a ballistic shield. So does this guy. And yeah, I'm not going to spend too much time on these. These are essentially just shields. Oh, that's what these are. These are ballistic shields. Sorry, I don't know why I thought they were pouches, but these are ballistic shields. Very cool. I have not used them because using them on a stealth run is almost like asking to be seen. You're essentially shouting, "Hey, I'm right here." Next up, we have some explosives. So we have our frag grenade, our smoke grenade, our flashbang grenade, our Molotov cocktail or flame grenade, and our C4 charge, all of which are very, very useful. The C4 charge is probably my favorite because, you know, you can do something where, say, for example, if your enemy or your target is in a meeting and you know that once his meeting is over, you need to kill all three of them. Once all three of them leave and hop in the Jeep, if you are quick thinking while they are still in the meeting, you can sneak to the Jeep, plant C4 on it, wait for them to all get in, and then boom, blow it up. Here we have some anti-tank mines. And then over here we have some of the different types of animal ingredients and plant ingredients that we use for healing and other chemical benefits, such as reducing weapon sway, making you quieter and stuff like that. So never underestimate the power of drugs, everyone. Here we have some more explosives. So we have mines, from anti-personnel to anti-tank. And then over here we have a mine called the flying disc, because you essentially throw it at whichever type is approaching, or whichever vehicle is approaching you. And if the driver is smart, he will brake instantly, or if he's not smart, he'll just keep on driving, being oblivious. So, sorry. Next up is items and resources. So, we will not be spending too much time here. So this is the Intel scope, which is essentially binoculars. Venom Snake uses these to mark out locations and scout out enemy strongholds and positions. Any enemy that is viewed through this is marked permanently, and as well as any resource caches, any high-value targets, any captured civilians or prisoners, and any vehicles. So you use this before you go in and actually assault a base. Next up is our trusty iDroid. So the iDroid is one of, or probably the most used item in the game. So this acts as our map. This acts as our objective, or where we can go to read our objective. This is where we can listen to the audio tapes that we can find for the whole lore, and much, much more. I'm sure I'm forgetting something. One thing I really do like about Metal Gear Solid 5, and not all games do this, and after MGSV, I do not understand why. So the this game's version of audio logs are called cassette tapes, and you use your iDroid to play them. These are essentially how you get the full picture on the full lore, and is one of the keys to getting the full ending. what's great about this is you are able to listen to them as you are running around and playing the game. So a lot of games have it where to listen to an audio log, you either have to stand still or be in a different menu and listen to them. But in this game, you can just listen to them as you play. So, if you are dropped in on one end of the map and the base you have to assault is 10 minutes away in terms of running distance, just pop on a tape and it will make it so much easier. It makes the boring run a lot more interesting, and it gives you something to do while listening to the tape. How more games do not do this, I do not understand for the life of me. So here we have a couple of different things. This is the Fulton extraction system. So this just shows all the different parts. So here's the clip, which we use to attach to our person we are going to extract. This is the bag where the Fulton is. This is the, once we pull this little lever here, it opens up and gets ready for extraction. Then when we are ready, we clip this on to our unconscious victim, and the balloon launches him up into the sky, in which a plane then picks him up, and then he becomes a member of Diamond Dogs. I always wonder, all of the people that we Fulton, are they all willing to join Diamond Dogs? Or is it one of those things where it's like, hey, we kind of kidnapped you, so your choices are either, join us or die? I think it's a bit of both because, Big Boss is a legend in this world, so I think most people would love to fight for Big Boss and his PMC. Here's a little picture of a size difference. So here's a man and here's the Fulton. Over here, we have some of the most signature items in all of Metal Gear, and that is the cardboard box. So we have different variations of the cardboard box. You can unlock it with different skins and all that stuff. My personal favorite is this one here, which is a cute anime girl. There's a cute real girl here, but I like the cute anime girl. So these ones on the left are used for hiding. What's funny is these ones on the right are used for distracting soldiers. So you can place this down and a soldier will see it and run up to it, essentially panting and drooling at the mouth, where you're then able to sneak up on him and either shoot him or restrain him and then knock him out and then Fulton him. So he essentially met his downfall due to being down bad, which I don't blame the guy. I'd be down bad too if I was a Soviet stationed in Afghanistan. This is our night vision goggles, really handy for night missions, especially in the thermal, or with the thermal vision. These are our Phantom Cigars. So Venom Snake likes to smoke synthetic cigars. The Phantom Cigars, how they serve the in-game purpose is they make time go faster. So I'll just give you an example. Say, for example, you spawned in to a mission in the morning. In bright daylight at like 12 noon. And you know that this particular base is easier to attack during night, specifically during the shift change when all of the guards are tired and are moving around from their positions. You can smoke this cigar to skip to the time that you want, so that then you can just go right away and attack at night instead of having to reload the mission. So they're not the most or one of the most used items, but they are definitely a very interesting concept. Here we have the parasite supply cartridges. I actually cannot remember what these are used for. I do apologize. I fully cannot remember. If you know what these are used for, please let me know in the comments. I am drawing a complete blank. And then here is some of the med spray that we use if we are wounded and then heal our wounds on the field. Here is three pictures of the boss. So the first one here is the boss wearing a protective gas mask. I actually have this gas mask in real life. I own two gas masks, this one and an M60. I'll put a picture of it somewhere on screen now. Here is him from the side with the same mask. Based on what people have told me, and I think that I agree with them after looking at this image, having a half-face gas mask with an eye patch is seriously terrifying. He looks so cool in this, but also so scary at the same time. This is a hat that you unlock. Essentially, if you die too many times in a row, the game will ask you like, hey, do you want to switch to easy mode? And if you say yes, you get this unlockable. I can't remember what it does. I think it saves you from the brink of death. Like, it might leave you with 1 HP in a situation where you would have died, but it's supposed to be like a humiliation thing of running around. It's essentially the game's way of calling you a big chicken. So here are some more pictures of some soldiers marching. And here is someone, I don't know who this is meant to be, but this guy has a goat head on his head. So he's using it as like a helmet or a mask. He has a sniper rifle on his back, and there's a ram here. Sorry, that's not a goat, that's a ram head. So I'm assuming that this is one of the Mujahideen guys, just based on his attire, but I could be completely wrong. Next up is the item box. So these are boxes that we find in the environment. They hold different types of resources that we need. There's multiple types. I can't remember them all right now, but there's stuff like organic resources, machine resources, metallic resources, precious resources, which are stuff like diamonds and stuff. And all of these are needed for purchasing upgrades. So these are the smaller versions that you can find. You can also find them in massive crate forms, like shipping container crates, which are essential for having in the late game. I mentioned earlier how you can use, how you can keep buying upgrades for your weapons until you get the one you want. They all cost resources. Everything in the game costs resources. Vehicles, weapons, clothing, because you can do the same thing with clothing, and buddy equipment, and most importantly, mother bases upgrades itself cost a lot, but it is definitely worth it. The more you upgrade a station, and the more stations you add, it just adds to mother base. And fun fact, if you Fulton enough different types of animals, you actually have the option of making a zoo platform on your mother base, which is so cool. Next up is locations. Okay, let us continue. So, locations. So we start off here, where we start off in the game, in the Cyprus Hospital. So this is our POV from Big Boss as he is coming out of his coma. Excuse me, I kind of had a little bit of a hiccup there. This is the hospital bed in which he wakes up in. This is more of the hospital setting. We see various medical equipment as well as a radio, which they probably put in that room just so that the comatose patient had something to listen to. And so this is this is the bed where Venom Snake is. And then over here behind this curtain is where our friend Ishmael is. This is us and Ishmael as we escape the hospital. So we have Ishmael here, standing up. He is kind of acting as our little guide. Sorry, I'm just doing this with my hoodie, by the way, just because my hands are very, very cold. We have the boss, or Venom Snake, on the ground here, and they're both looking at Psycho Mantis in the distance. This is them looking at the man on fire as he is pursuing them. They are on the ground, and they don't defeat him, but they make him retreat because they burst a pipe overhead which spews water on him and extinguishes his flames. This is some more of the outside of the clinic as it doesn't show it in the book, but essentially what happens is both Ocelot and the boss end up boarding a ship, and they make their way to Afghanistan. And during their time on the ship, the boss is exercising So yeah, there's more carnage going on in the clinic as people are killing everyone to make sure that the boss is dead. Sorry, by people, I mean the XOF soldiers. This is the boss, crouched at the top of a stairway, looking down into the foyer where a bunch of XOF soldiers are. And he tries to fight his way through, but he's overwhelmed by their numbers, and then the man on fire appears. However, Ishmael, who had disappeared, comes up driving this car, bursts in through the front door. All of the soldiers that were there who were fighting Snake were actually killed by the man on fire because they opened fire on him. But Ishmael runs him over with the car and does not kill him, but defeats him. So, or defeats him for now, anyway. So both Ishmael and the boss get in the car and make a getaway. This is them driving away. They're being pursued by a chopper, as well as a flaming whale and what looks like a horse with flaming wings. I believe this is Psycho Mantis, kind of channeling some of the flames from the man on fire. But as the two continue to drive, they end up crashing the car, and the car flips over onto its top. So the car is now upside down that they were in, and the boss is knocked unconscious. So when the boss comes back, or when the boss regains consciousness, he is upside down in the car, which also is upside down. And after he frees himself, he gets out and looks around and realizes that Ishmael is just gone. There's no trace of him anywhere. There's no blood to signify that he was injured. He has seemingly vanished, and that is when Revolver Ocelot first appears. He is riding a horse and essentially tells the boss to get on and we're gonna make a run for it. So the two of them do make a run for it. They're being pursued by both the man on fire and Psycho Mantis. They look like they are riding a flaming unicorn of some kind. It looks like a unicorn, but it might just be a horse. But either way, it is made of fire. But they're also being pursued by XOF forces as well. And here you can see Ocelot galloping and steering the horse, while the boss is on the back, looking backwards, shooting at the pursuers. And not much happens after that. They just end up getting away from all of the enemies. And then here we have some bits of Mother Base. So we have just some basic structures of Mother Base. This is Mother Base, how we first see it when we first arrive. It's a singular station. These two pictures are really cool, I think, because they show an aerial view of Mother Base. So this one here is a much smaller version. This is what Mother Base will look like, you know, at the start of your game, where you have your central platform, which is your main platform, and then you have your three kind of sub-platforms. Whereas this one has 4 central platforms with these huge walkways. They're almost like roads that lead to other massive groups of platforms and structures. Really, really cool. But apart from that, this is just showing off structures of Mother Base. During the time on the ship, the boss is doing nothing but exercising to get his strength back. Since he was in a coma for so long, all of his muscles have atrophied, so he is very, very weak and his arms are very thin. So at this point, the boss is just doing any kind of exercises to get his muscle mass back, because as Ocelot says, that he needs the muscle mass for the arm or the prosthetic arm to fit. So moving on to a different topic entirely. This is Mother Base, or at least some concept arts of Mother Base. So Mother Base, the main color scheme for it is orange, or at least the structures of it are orange. So here we have 2 of the smaller structures. These are 2 of the major structures on top of individual platforms. Here is a shot of Mother Base as we first encounter it when we first arrive. As you can see, it's quite small and only has 1 structure in it, but we can change that by upgrading it. Some more pictures of Mother Base. Again, I'm not spending too much time on this, but these are just some of the different structure types that we can come across in the game. Or not come across in the game, but build and see in the game. Here we just have some pictures of kind of the insides of some of these structures. So some of them are garages, some of them are storerooms, and so on and so forth. Here is Helanthropus. So this is after we defeat Helanthropus. We bring it back to Mother Base with us to kind of use, or to have both as a weapon to use as a deterrent for any enemies that would want to attack Mother Base, and also as kind of like a trophy. Because let's be honest, if you took this thing down, you would want some kind of trophy from it. And this just shows the structure that the Helanthropus is being kept in. He's not active, he's seemingly shut off, but they're just kind of taking precautions. They don't just want to leave him out in the open. And also in case people could steal him if he's out in the open. Again, more types of different structures are on Mother Base. I'm not sure what each of these different types of structures are. I'm sure it does say it in Japanese, but they all look really cool. They're all kind of designed around the concept of a massive oil rig. And then here we have another structure that we can build. This is just some of these smaller buildings. I'm assuming these would kind of almost act as like housing for the soldiers of Diamond Dogs. And here is just a picture of Boss having returned to Mother Base with Ocelot, looking up at a butterfly. You can see his red arm. And yeah, so that, everyone, is where we are going to end the video for now. So thank you so much for watching. I want to give a huge shout out to my patron members. So thank you Slice of Life for Life, and thank you Mary the Otaku. Your support means the world to me. I cannot express it enough. And if you are watching this video while trying to relax or go to sleep, this is the end of the video, so I would recommend turning the video off now so that the ad does not wake you up if an ad does in fact play. So, again, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys in part 3. Have a good evening, and goodbye.